Many people think that honoring their ancestors, preserving their lineage, even praying and making offers to the ancestors is enough. I just want to tell you something I found out in my research and work and share with you honestly and openly that I would never have thought possible before I got proof. So, ancestors are not always supportive, they're not always helpful, especially when they have not made it to Christ and you're like, for example, the first one to come into Christ. There are so many ancestors that have not made it to the light to Christ, but they got stuck somewhere else and that still influence through the bloodline. They have like a legal right through your DNA to do that. And there is almost like a veneration going on, like the spirit is still like working through the people if you don't consciously unallow it. They run so much stuff behind the scenes through people in their bloodline, like from the paternal, from the maternal bloodline, and really make life more difficult, I would say, not for freedom, not for sovereignty, not for coming into Christ and getting free of all suppression, but some of these spirits only care about their legacy being carried forward. For example, I found out some ancestral spirits were still installing programs in my line, in my life. Being beautiful and radiant is a risk. Like, you should tone down. Like, you shouldn't be too pretty or something. So I always had an issue with being a woman for a long time, or being pretty and like making an effort. I know how to believe, but I felt bad when I got like too beautiful and almost like wanted to hide it for a long time, because I don't even know why, it was these spirits like, and fears coming up about that not being safe. And there's also other things like paternal spirits being controlling, and these are like, you can just think like how life was back in those days, like in the previous 7 generations or even further back, how people lived their life, how they would go about things like marriage, roles, like what is safe, what is not safe, about poverty, about wealth, about being refugees or not. Like, all of that is in the bloodline, and the only one that can really help you get free from the ancestral suppression, influence, and unclean bloodlines is Christ. Like, he frees you from the bloodline as well. And the people working with me, we look at that and go through it as well, because there's ways to pray for that. You need to free yourself. The same for I have an example from a lady. She's from African background. She married well, she's happy, she's wealthy, but she had to break the curses on the bloodline and the imprints from her mom, her grandma, and 1 generation further back being left by the baby daddies. So there was like a pattern and almost like a self-repeating expectation that she had to break first before she could come into a healthy union and be incredibly happy now in her life and her family. But these are small examples, and you think like, what is this lady talking about? Like, I don't care about all of the stuff with ancestry and bloodline, but it is so impactful on your life, on your business, on your private life, on the stuff that you're facing and simply cannot seem to get around, cannot seem to turn the page on, because you're always repeating the same thing and you don't even know why. So I recommend you working with someone like me that can see it, that can break it with you in prayer, that can show you what is still there, because I had to do it for myself and others. And believe me, the enemy wanted me to be like mute so bad, because they knew once I know how to do it, I will free many bloodlines with others in prayer and teach other people how to do the same. So believe me, it cost me a lot to get to this point, but I'm still here and I'm so happy to serve you with this work.